Question comes from Melissa Warner, who writes, "Hi, John and crew. I love the show. The saddest part of my day is when John says bye-bye." Aw, that's sweet. Anyway, I've noticed in the last year or so, a lot of YouTube movie critics have popped up, and most of them use this fast edit style, you know, where they say 5 words and then cut edit to them saying another 5 words and so on. What do you think about this style, John?
I hate it. I hate it so much. And look, there are exceptions to everything, and I'll get to a couple of exceptions here in a second. But you know what they're talking about, right? It's where somebody who isn't intelligent enough to know how to actually speak in sentences, and they don't have enough knowledge to actually communicate, so they have to, okay, say these 5 words, blah, blah, blah. Now what's the next fact? Now say the next 5 words and cut it. So basically what happens is their videos look like this. Now they're over here. Now they're talking, and you know, it's garbage. I hate that. It's lazy. It tells me that the person isn't smart enough to know how to communicate. You know, once in a while, we'll be doing this show, and when we do this show, it's unscripted, and we often are trying to pull up like 100 different facts in our heads on the fly as Dennis and I are talking, or Amy Rose, or John Schnepp, or whatever. We're just talking off the cuff. And every once in a while, you'll see me go, and I also love that movie because it starred, oh, damn it, what's his name? And you'll see me freeze, and people go, John doesn't even know who starred in that. Yes, I do. I just had a brain freeze because I like talking flow in conversation, not in, if I wanted to say 5 words, stop, get the next fact. Say the next 5 words, get the next fact. I think it shows laziness. I think it shows that the people don't actually know what they're talking about. And it's just garbage. And you know, I'm open to trying different things. About 5 years ago, I did 2 movie reviews in that style. And I did them, and I sat back and I looked at them and I said, wow, I look like a jackass. And I decided not to do that anymore. It sucks. I really hate it. Now, just because I hate it doesn't mean that everybody should hate it. It's just not for me. That's just how it strikes me. I hate it. But there are exceptions. For example, there's this one film critic on YouTube. I never know if I'm pronouncing his name, but Jeremy Johns, I think is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And this is a dude who, he does that terrible, terrible style. But when I watch some of his reviews anyway, because when I'm watching him, I get the feeling this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He's got some really insightful points, and therefore I like watching it. I would just watch the dude a lot more if he would show that he knows what he's talking about, because I get the feeling he really does. And he makes some great points, and he raises some really good insight. I just hate that style. So I would prefer seeing him just do a 10-minute sit down, you know, as opposed to a 3-minute of blah, 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 as opposed to that, just seeing a 10-minute thing of him sitting down and just talking to the camera and giving his insight. But Jeremy Johns is an example of a guy who's been really successful on YouTube with it, right? So what's most important is not to do what John thinks is the right thing to do. Normally in life it is, kids, just to let you know. But the most important thing is not to do what John says is the right thing. The most important thing is to do what works for you. And for a guy like Jeremy Johns, who clearly does know what he's talking about, and he's insightful, he knows how to communicate, if he says that's what's the style that works best for him, then that's what he should go with. But for me personally, what was her name, Melissa? I completely agree with you. I get so sick and tired because it seems like everybody's doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's just doing this quick edit, and it just drives me nuts. Dennis, you've been really involved in the YouTube space longer than I have. Like, do you see the same trend? What do you think of that whole style of doing shows online?
It's not a recent trend, though. I mean, it's been around for a while. Yeah. I know she asked, it's been in the last year, but it's been around for a while. And the problem is a lot of the top YouTubers have been flourishing with that style. Personally, yeah, sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't. I think usually what it is people are just hiding cuts. That's all it is. What they're doing is they're popping, like, okay, they read something, they messed up, and so they cut to another angle, and I think it can work if it's paced right and it's done in like certain segments. But when it's like every sentence, then I think it's terrible. So
yeah, but and once again, I know you feel the same way about this that I do. Is that it doesn't work for us?
No. Not at all.
But that doesn't mean, that my sister wouldn't appreciate watching something like that, or somebody else. And, that's the most important thing, is finding what works for you. And as an audience member, if that type of content appeals to you, then awesome. That's great. It just doesn't work for me on any level, but that's just me.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.